Transfers, I've tried to put it in sections so it's easier for all of us to remember. The components of a transfer, when you get a person ready from one surface to transfer to the other, is position of the patient, right? What position is the patient in or the person in? Position of the equipment, which I mean is where is the wheelchair or where is the other chair or sofa, where is that position? The position of the carer or the therapist, whoever is assisting, and actual transfer. So basic type of transfers that we teach and we come across are short sitting transfer, which means legs down. So transferring, I'll be in the chair to explain, legs down, that's what it means. Okay? Long sitting transfer is something we will demonstrate. What it means is that you're transferring the person from whichever surface, and he's sitting with legs up. So from here as well, in this position as well, you can transfer the person on the wheelchair if they are not able to bend their legs. Okay? Or there are other reasons as well. So this is called legs up transfer or long sitting transfer. And then specialist transfers, which are your car transfers, transferring from wheelchair to the toilet or any other specific place. So short sitting transfer. So the person is on the bed. You have to get the person in sitting position. So remember how we turned the person and got him to sitting position? That's what you need to do. But we would hopefully have a chance at it downstairs. So you get the person in sitting.
Yes, I'll try.
You will be turning yourself. Legs down. First, you make the person sit up. This is short sitting. And the person who doesn't have very good tongue control is holding on, which we say flopping on arms, is supporting himself or herself on her hands. Okay? You would do this transfer only when a person has a good trunk balance. They're not flopping. They can use their hands to hold themselves. If they cannot use their hand, they're flopping. This is a dangerous technique, and I wouldn't say you do it on your own. Okay? Sometimes we do it, again, as I said, early engagement, because that is to teach, and we know that we have to get them to use their arms, they have the ability. But if the person is too disabled, this is not the technique for them. Okay? So from this position, we assume that this is a lower surface. So sorry, you can descend yourself in the chair.
I'm not going to.
No, that would be too dangerous to teach. So, as I said, position of the person, the short sitting, legs down, position of the equipment. Where are you going to place the equipment? Here, here. No, you place it as close to the surface as possible. Now, we've come across most of the chairs that do not have these. Yeah. They don't come off. You can't do the transfer if they don't come off. Right? You will have to lift. There's no other way to manage it. So you have to have chairs where the armrests come off. Okay? Again, foot plates have to come off because you want to make it clear for the person to be moved around. So if the foot plates of the chair doesn't come off, it's a problem. Especially if they are also sticking out, it's a big problem. You're going to make the transfer very, very risky for the patient and yourself. So you take the foot plate out as well. That's the break. Right. What is missing in this? What equipment is missing? Can you think? Slide board. Cushion. A cushion. A cushion is missing. You cannot get a person in a wheelchair without a pressure cushion. With putting a person without a pressure cushion means you are asking for pressure source, you're inviting pressure source. Okay? So a wheelchair is incomplete without cushion. So here we are. We spent some time looking for pressure cushions and they were very hard to come by. Most of the wheelchair users did not have pressure cushions. And we had looked around in the market as well. They are quite expensive and they're imported from abroad. So we started a small project with Magic Fingers, which is a non-government organization. It is an organization to empower women from underprivileged socio-economic background. We source the materials locally to make a pressure cushion. So here we are. We've got pressure cushions in different sizes available. These cushions are made out of foam of different densities. They are good enough for equal pressure distribution, but they do not take away the need of, remember, repositioning, pressure relieving. None of the sophisticated items would actually take away that need. I may be putting a person on the most expensive cushion in the market, but you still need to do the pressure reliefs. Okay? And it does not guarantee pressure source just having the best item. Okay? So this is a pressure cushion. If anyone has got a problem in sourcing cushions, please contact one of our members and we will guide you on how to purchase. They are at a very nominal cost. I'm not sure what the cost is, but
it's 1,500 rupees. The cover material is imported. The foam is made locally. The cover material.
This material is a special material. It's a medical item. The material is special because it stretches in all direction, and that's what you need when you sit a person. So that the fabric is breathable. People will sweat. It will absorb that. It is breathable, and it will stretch in the different directions for us to immerse the bottom. So we're not sitting against a tight surface that could give, again, skin issues. So this, it's a special material we have to source from elsewhere. So please ask us if you need more information about these cushions. And if you see anyone without a pressure cushion, please get in touch and give them pressure cushions. You can contact our
hotline. Remember the hotline.
There's different types of foams. It's not just that. There are different types of foams which have to be put together to give this effect.
You know, I bought one. I used to put it on my son's wheelchair. And then told him you have to stand him first and then we'll lift you and put him in the chair. The issue is none of my mother or my wife is wishing to use it because they have to lift further. It makes it
because it makes the chair high. Right. That is one of the things. Yes, it does make the chair high for transfers. But you have to look at why is the person sitting on it, right? What is more important, transfers or?
Oh yes.
Okay. So I'm going to take this opportunity to also show you another product of ours. Exactly what you're talking about. If you have to lift a person only in situations where the person has some ability to get the weight on their feet, okay? Some of the stroke patients, they have the ability to put weight on the good side. Some other conditions where they can lift, but it's not a good enough lift to go from one surface to the other. So you need to help in the lifting. So again, watching our own back, watching our own health, we don't do that. And secondly, I've noticed many of you when you were trying to move, and it's natural. What we tend to do, where do we go if we have to lift the person? There. There, right? All of us would do that. We would just happily grab the arm or hold the arm. Yeah. All are guilty. So that in long run is going to hurt you obviously, and it's going to damage their shoulders. It's going to damage their arms, their hands. Why we have seen people who've got the sublux wrist because it's been pulled. Okay, so we've got something called handling belt. Have you come across that? Some of you have. always get these. I'm not sure which one is it, that one or that one. Okay, so again, this is a handling belt, and it helps us to have a good grip on the person. So you're not pulling their clothes, you're not pulling their arms, right? You have a good grip because you've got these to hold, right? So you guys are saying you've come across, do you use it? No.
We don't get the opportunity to work with natural basics.
Right. Okay. Anybody else who's been caring for the others? You haven't. You have come across, yeah. So this is called a
I
hand.
bought one for India.
Okay. So again, this transfer is for a particular type of people who have the ability, not a highly dependent person. So you would get this around them. You could do that when they are in a better position, maybe lying. And see, the surface is low. How am I going to protect my back? That is a bad position to be. For me, I think this is where I go down. I can keep my back straight. Lift it. Okay. I've got the loops to hold her. Right? Remember, she's got good trunk. She's got some ability in her legs as well, but not strong enough to give herself a big lift. All I'm doing is to guide her without pulling on her. We need to go on it. So I want to keep the other surface she's going to at a minimum distance, so I don't have to do too much, right? And I want to keep the obstructions away. So that's why I took everything that could come in my way away. Foot plate has gone, armrest has gone. Definitely put the brakes on. Safety first. So let's get the position right. Put the brakes on. So, okay. The principle of moving a person is going to be same as slide boat transfer as well. How you position yourself and how the person is positioned. But here, she's able to lift herself. I'm going to guide her onto the chair. This can be done by 2 people as well. So you've got, again, handles here and handle here for 2 people to maneuver. Okay, so I'm going to ask her to lean forward, lift and go. That's what I did, right? Just guiding the movement, I'm not lifting because we don't advocate lifting. If we're going to stand her, that's a different thing. We have to guide her, and I would suggest 2 people do that. But again, there may be situations, okay, they can stand out. So if you can get in the chair, you are good heavy. And I want to help her to stand, but I don't have anywhere to hold on, and I don't want to be pulling her arms. She can stand, but she just needs a little bit of a push, okay? So I'm going to ask her to push down. She could use the armrest as well. Push down, and I have got the grip here to stand. So this is what the handling belt is for, okay? To give you that grip and stability. And likewise, you can come down to sit down, feet back, sit down, and control. Okay? So that's what the handling belts are for. Those who have to really.
And you have the waist
Yes, they come in. They will be in different sizes. So, and for special sizes, you again have to contact Neuram.
There is a brochure which is around. I don't know if it's still there. You have all the numbers, the contact numbers, everything. The belt wasn't on it yet because it was still trying. Now.
Yeah.
You have to take measurement for this belt.
Not necessarily. It will come in small, medium, large,
Yeah.
and there's this adjustable strap there. But if there's a special size, you can contact us. If there's a special size.
Yeah, sure.
No,
We can.
what I wanted to say is where we place it at the waist.
Oh yeah, the waist. Yeah. And if it is sliding up,
Yes.
that means it's too loose, right? It should not be sliding. It should not be coming here. It's too loose. You need to have it nice.
Yes, this is what happens from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So it's too loose. Yeah.
Shiva, just a question. When you were lifting from the chair, she leant on your shoulder. That is necessary.
Not necessary. Not necessary. So how should we? guiding her, right? She has the ability to do the lift.
Okay.
No, she doesn't have to lean on me. She's doing it on her
Yeah.
own, but she's not strong enough. I have to just give that some,
Okay, okay.
that help. Yeah?
What if you have to stand from the chair?
Yeah. It is, again, person who has the ability to stand, you would only stand that person.
Yeah.
Right? That they, then you don't stand. They don't have the ability. That's what is, this person has got the ability. How you lift the person who is not, when you try to transfer, is using a slide board. We're going to come to it now. Yeah? For that, cohort of people who use the board.
No, for those who can stand for a while.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You still use.
You can use this, yes. And you stand your son up, isn't it? And you say you hold his arms to pull him out. That's where it's going to be useful. So just that situation, I'm just drifting away, and we have to cover one more. But I can show you one technique of how to stand him up with the abilities we discussed. I just see me at the lunchtime and I'll show you, right? Because this is vast. For every condition there is a, for every situation there is a way. But for us, we should give you the basics first. And that's what it's about.
I'm going to challenge, sorry, yeah? I mean, probably it's for the benefits of others as well. Since the cushion makes the chair higher, attach the feet is like flat on the pedal. So probably we need is support there. Otherwise, we'll have tendency to
The foot plate, you mean?
Yes.
Forwards, falling forwards.
Yes, because the chair is higher. So the
The foot plate has to match the height. That's our next session in the afternoon,
Yeah.
how to sit a person in a chair and what's the right position. The chair has to match the
that's the pedal
specifications of the
fixed.
person.
This is the problem,
Yeah. If the feet are not touching the foot plate, they're too low. And if the feet are like, or the knees are like this, the foot plate is too high, so you have to adjust. And if there is no adjustability in the chair is not right for the person.
This is the kind of wheelchair they provide with the Ministry of Social Security. Yeah. So they are fixed, so,
This is what,
which is not appropriate.
this is not appropriate. So please, when anybody is given this chair, please make a noise, shout that this is. We have spoken several times, and they have changed and added the specifications. We requested them to some of the fleets they give out. So I think it's a matter of raising awareness. Keep the work on. Yeah, so this is what most of you come across. Yeah. When you have these, you have to, you are the force.
And there's some WHO guidelines.
Yes, on the.
How can you transfer from the chair into where?
Impossible.
With the belt? You can.
You can, like I said, the person, you have to use. That's what we did with some of our patients. We had to kind of get them off the surface and do a pivot, which is a very specialist one. This was not a platform system because it's a risky one and anything can go wrong.
We've used turning boards.
Yeah, some people can do that.
There are also little rotor stands you
Yeah.
can hold on to. You stand and then rotor stand. And they're very good. I don't know if you have those here either, but the rotor stands are really handy for some patients. So it's a little plate. You put your feet on it. It has a bar and a handle, and underneath it has two little wheels and a tilt to make you stand up, tilt, rotor, and sit.
how's it called?
It's called a rotor stand.
Rotors.
Rotor stand. I'll see if we can find a picture. I have got internet connection here.
You're using only
Has anyone got internet?
We would use transfer board when they do not have the ability to lift and go, right? Something called pivot transfer, which is a step next to slide board transfer. We're gonna show that as well now. So let's get on to the transfers. I'll show the basic of the transfer from chair to this, and then we'll go on the way downstairs, right? So first of all, you can pretend you're a paraplegic. We could put this down. The lifting goes.
So we were talking about people that have, sorry, I can't get it to complain that. We talked about patients that have short arms. You know, I was saying about us ladies with little arms. So we get these made by a charity in the UK because they're better than anything we can buy commercially. You can buy commercial ones, but we hate them. These are lovely. They make them for any size. So the little handles, we have all different heights. Okay, and they have that that rubber on the bottom that doesn't slide. Just stick that on the bottom. And these ones, these are the cone-topped ones. Actually, the gentleman's actually incorporated the screws so we can make them higher and lower. And we use those for our tetraplegics because they can't hold a handle, but they can rest their hand on that we call it mushroom block. So you can see those little wooden blocks or the handles, so they then give you something to push with. And you know, they're really easy to manufacture if you've got a charity or anyone that would potentially make those for you. But they're, you know, really, really fantastic, particularly for the difficult transfers. We're going to do the basic ones now. If you're going from high to low into a car, you get so much more lift with them. So some of our, even our big guys who are strong, like to use one when they're getting in and out of a high car because it gives them a big lift. And it's really easy win, really. So it's just a wooden handle block. So they cost £11 in UK money to make for charity. They give them to our patients free, and our animations buy them. Can we sit on this? Couldn't get it projecting. I'm trying.
Can we use push-up handles?
Yes. So you can use push-up handles from the gym. So the guys that do dip blocks, the trouble with them is they're not very stable. These are more stable, so they tend to tilt a little bit. So some guys use the metal push-up handles, and they're a good place to start. And they're available commercially. I don't know how expensive they are. These are cheap. How much? Okay, so yeah.
They are
So
good enough, but that's
they
to
do the job. They're just not quite so stable.
They're not
They
stable.
tilt. They tilt a bit.
Especially on a bed.
On a bed.
They just roll out.
Because they've got the little, yeah, they flip a bit. These are nice big flat bases on wood, and it's just got the rubber. What's that? The rubber and anti-rubber stuff that we use. The silicone rubber stuff. You just stick a piece on the bottom. So really easy and cheap.
So these are inherent, stay.
Yeah.
I use a yoga block.
Yeah.
The yoga block.
Yeah, the yoga blocks are good. Yeah, you can use anything really. We like these because they work for us.
Yeah.
For our tetraplegics, the mushroom blocks are really good. You can find, but just think, you could use, just be creative. But there's somewhere to think about if you know that something, and it just makes such a difference to your lift. It gives you really good clearance. I need to buy it. Yeah, remat. Oh yeah, remat. Yeah.
Okay, so slide board transfers. Some of you are familiar with slide board transfers, right? But it's just to maybe for those who know it, we will just have a revision, and those who don't can have a go at it. So, transferring from a wheelchair to a plain surface, it could be a sofa, it could be a bed or divan, right? So the person is in the chair. We would want the person to have feet on the floor. This is, if you think this is a para, so no movement waist down, if you think. So this person has got trunk. And we would do this transfer only when the person has the trunk. He's got good enough arm, not I wouldn't say the full arm function, but good enough to support himself or herself, okay? And this is going to be partially assisted. So the person can put his hands at the side and following another thing is, can they follow your instructions? You may even have people who just don't understand because of the injury has been, they don't understand the instructions. You wouldn't want to do this because they wouldn't understand what you want them to do, right? So once you've met those conditions, person is on the wheelchair, we're going to have feet on the floor because feet are going to give that support to the person, the biomechanical support. So you don't have the feet hanging up, they need to be on the floor. Yep, you can lift. Get the hand under. Okay? But we're still quite far off. I have to get her bottom at the edge of the chair. How am I going to do that? That was your question, right? I'm going to sit down. Okay? You may find another position that works better for you, but for me, to keep my back straight, I am going to sit down. I'm going to position herself. I'm going to ask Fiona to lean to the right side, just a tiny bit. Now the left side is free of her weight. We have de-weighted her. I'm going to put my hand under the left side and I'm going to scoop it forward. Okay? And then you can come back. If you can now lean onto the left, I'm going to scoop the right side forward onto the middle. Feet on the floor.
You can always, if you've got someone that's really big and they can't do that, slide this underneath them and use this. So just tip to the side for a second. So you get them to lean a little bit. If they can't move at all, just tuck it under, sit back, and just use this.
And that can happen. That can happen. Okay? So there we go. And yes.
Yes, absolutely. Putting it on. We'll just show you that later.
So in this maneuver, what you want to do is you want to protect the skin at all costs. You don't want the skin to hit anywhere during the process. You would take the armrest out. Again, if you can't take the armrest out, I wouldn't suggest this transfer. Right? Armrest out. You want to miss the wheel completely. Right? That is here. And make sure the brakes are on. Good. Miss the wheel completely. So maybe Fiona needs to come further forward to miss that wheel, because now if she transfers from here, she's going to hit the wheel, right? So I would be again asking Fiona to lean onto her left, get this side only tiny bit forward, so we are now well clear of the wheel. Here we go. We've covered the wheel just in case, because things can still go wrong. Slide board is slightly dependent transfer. We covered the brakes as well, because brakes are sticking out and you can hit the button. And then I will have, you could have straight slide board, or you could have banana board, which is this. Banana board is slightly longer and it is a curvy one, which will be good for car transfers, toilet, commode chair transfers. You have to make that judgment yourself. Where are you going? Now here it's a small surface, so I don't want to have a big fat board around. I would just have something small. So it is, where are you using it? Then you decide what you do. They're going to do the same function. So I have to put the board under Fiona's bottom. So I'm going to ask Fiona to lean to the left side there, and I will take the board facing downwards, not like that because you will be hitting the skin. Facing downwards and under, and then back. Now just to make sure that the slide board is right under them, the little tip is I ask the person to place his or her hand on the board and just put a little pressure. You see the seesaw effect? It is well under her now. And if it isn't, then just pretend that it isn't. Okay? Right? So this is very important, because accidents happen when the slide boards are not coupling. They're just coming with the person, right? If it's done, equipment is an important part of the transfer. Wherever you place the transfer, the bottom is going to land there. So if your transfer board is facing here, the bottom is going to land here. And where do we want the bottom to land? Right on the chest. So that is where it should be placed, guiding it there. Okay? That's my half of the job done, just placing the equipment and myself properly, right? One hand on the board, head and feet move away from where you're going. And this is just when Fiona lifts her up in that direction, her bottom wants to go in opposite direction. So every action has equal and opposite reaction. Head away, feet away, you push down, you will slide a little bit. Push. And so that this is, I am guiding, but you have to be careful again. If the patient is not wearing clothes, what are you going to do? Friction, right? So those are the things to bear in mind. This can also be used when the lifts are not good enough. Fiona can do a little bit, but it's not good enough to get her on the chair. So she can do small lifts and go up the chair. So if you can keep your hand together, lean forward. If Fiona leans forward, the bottom is slightly D-weight, let's say, and it's easy to lift the bottom up. And that's gradually lift your bottom and go across. And when you guide you, lift your bottom, go across. Lift your bottom, go across. Lift your bottom.
We're going to go through training techniques to achieve lifts and practicing these techniques.
And that's the other common thing Nah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Because
Touch your fingers.
they will hurt their fingers and squash the fingers. So that's a basic slide board technique.
Yeah, that's okay.
Catheter,
That's the way.
you need to get the
Out of the way, that's fine.
wherever possible, ask the person to do small lifts and avoid this because, as I said, if they're not properly dressed, there is a chance that it can cause friction.
When somebody's really, really weak and early at the beginning, you can still use the board, but give them a bit more assistance by not using the lift technique if they really can't do it, but actually getting them to come all the way forward. And they've got to trust you as a supportive carer, but you can actually give them yourself here to lean on. They can still do a bit with their lift, so they're still going into their lift. You get them to lean forward, de-weight, and they can do a tiny bit. You just by hinging them forward onto their feet, you can guide them over. So you just de-weight them all the way forward. You can try it on yourself. If you lean all the way forward, it literally de-weight. You'll see later. We're going to practice that thing. We de-weight to the bottom. As long as their feet are grounded, you can just hinge them over their feet and gently guide them over. So they have to trust to know that you're not going to drop them, but it's another way of just giving them a bit more assistance.
And that felt very secure actually,
Yeah.
being just leaning on the shoulder.
You literally need to stand and so that's like that. Yeah. Trained therapists might use a sheet, a sliding sheet as well, but I wouldn't advocate that for any carers.
Okay,
It's too dangerous.
we can go down. So this is
Yeah.
the bed that goes
Yeah.
down.
Right.
So this, we wanted to show you the technique. So now we're going to apply that from bed to chair, which is downstairs. So we can get the bed up because it's too heavy. But that's the bed that will go up and